obviously, well, you've been in this band a very long time, and like you say,
Thanks.
well,
Yeah.
but the same thing was the same feeling there when Jesper left, and that the kind of the core was.
No, In Flames is In Flames. I think that's stronger than any individual in the band, and I think proven that throughout the years, having all these lineup changes, right? But that was a different situation. That's a family member not feeling well, and that was really, really tough on everyone. Someone so close to you, being ill, not being, not only comfortable, but not being able.
Right.
In a way, and it was tough on everyone because we didn't know, like the purely practical problems were that we didn't know if he would show up at a flight. We were on our way to a festival or on a tour. Nobody was sure, if he was going to show, and it puts pressure on everybody on a purely practical sense, but also, seeing somebody you love being ill, it sucks.
But,
and when he finally wanted to take care of, decided that now I need to get better, I need to take care of certain things, and so I can't tour. Then it was almost like a relief, because all of a sudden we go, okay, now we know the situation and we understand what needs to be done. We can move forward from this. So it was very different.
But like you say, they're both people that you grew up with, and
from my
in the band, so to say. Then, but people that you love. So do you still speak to
yeah,
them?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
He called me on my birthday.
Okay.
Talked for half an hour or something like that. It's awesome.
Do you know what he thinks about the new In Flames music?
I'm sure he's proud of it. I'd be surprised if he wasn't, because he's been such an important part of shaping this band. So it would be weird if he wasn't. Yeah, I'm sure he's proud, and I'm sure. We talked after the last record, and he was like he really could dig into details, and it makes me happy, obviously, because I have so much to,
Sure.
We had so much time together. To grow up musically together.
Right.
So of course, I am sure he actually is proud of this. Then the situation is what it is, and yeah.
Okay. That's all I'll ask about this.
Yeah, no worries. I know
Okay.
what you're thinking about, but it's okay. We can talk about that too.
Okay. Well, I also like to talk about Battles, the album. And you yourself and Anders went to Los Angeles to write. Was it important to get that separation? To go somewhere else?
Going away from home?
Yeah, go somewhere else to write?
Very. It was like the first thing we decided, okay, next album, let's not do it at home. That's sort of how it started. We needed to be away from distractions. And distractions not being a negative thing, but it's just stuff that takes up your time or takes away your focus. And so that was the first thing we decided. Okay. And we got lucky, very lucky actually, to first start working with the management that we have. They opened a lot of doors so we could talk to 8 or 10 of our all-time favorite producers that are still around and still working. So, and we got to talk to them, We never had the opportunity in the past. And we ended up really, really liking what Howard Benson said. They all were awesome to talk about, and I just get goosebumps thinking about talking to some of these guys. And Howard said the right things. He had the right approach. He understands that we've done 11 records already, so it's not like our first show, We have a very we know how we sound and what we want to do, and he wanted to be a part of that and focus us on what we're good at. So, and then he said, Well, my studio is in LA.
Okay.
Ah, that's okay. You know, it's going to be 23 to 30 degrees every day. I think we experienced rain once, and it was a night.
Okay.
So it was just. The environment was obviously really nice. There.
And having someone, because well, a lot of the albums you've kind of produced yourself, or at least it was a more closed process. So what was it like having a third party?
Scary.
Okay.
It's the first time. I mean, we had producers in the past that that's been part of the process, but we are so protective of what we do. And having this that we talked about earlier, this is our thing.
Right.
You know, having that in mind all the time has not let us open up in a way that we think that we would have benefited from a producer. So it's been mostly co-produced, or I'd say mainly having producers on the record would mean that these guys are the guys engineering it and mixing it. You know? And it's not fair to these guys because they're awesome. All of them are really, really good at what they do. But that's just the way we were. We weren't ready. And this time around, we got to talk to the guys that, you know, made, for us, really defining records for who we are, you know. And we figured it would be really stupid not to use their skills.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you remember then maybe a moment in the studio where Howard, because like you say, you're very protective, and obviously he'll have his ideas. So can you remember a moment like that in the studio where it kind of?
Very clearly. I mean, like the first time, because he wanted to have demos of the songs, right? And that sort of put pressure on us to not only do, because normally we do the songs, the music, and we do demos, and then we record it, and then the vocals are done separately and added on top. And when we're happy with it, we meet in the mix in a way. But he wanted to have everything. He wanted to have demos with vocals on it. Like, where's your chorus? Where's that part? Where, you know, and so not only did we need to open up to him, we needed to open up towards each other too. So I could be in there poking in the lyrics and like the vocal melodies and stuff. And Anders was in poking in melodies and arrangements and riffs. It's like, nah, we could take it there instead. And because I have this vocal idea, and then we could approach music from another side. And in the end, present demos to Howard. And that was like the first time we presented, okay, so we're thinking something like this. You know, you never know. But you have this. I had this view or this feeling that a producer comes in, takes you up by the collar and slaps you a couple of times and tell you what to do, and then you just follow his. And I didn't want to do that. None of us wants to do that. This is our shit, you know. And this mental image is probably wrong, and I don't think any producer probably works like that. But we haven't been in a situation where we opened up and let somebody actually have an opinion, or let somebody be a filter or a wall to bounce ideas off of, you know. And so that was scary. But he was like, "Yeah, this is great, that's awesome, but maybe it's a little bit too long, and let's." So he was like, he dove straight into it and just gave us pointers, and it was like the easiest thing ever.
Did you learn anything about yourself and maybe as a band, as songwriters? And
yeah, as I said already, I mean, this whole thing that we can approach songwriting from so many angles. I mean, we've always tried to do something different because we feel the need to do it, right? But we have had a certain way of doing things, and now we found another way of doing things, and it's very inspirational, extremely creative, efficient in a way.
Well, in that sense, then, do you think certain songs then that ended up on the album couldn't have been on previous records? Or
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the same goes for every record.
Okay.
These are, I believe we talked about it. These are like perfect snapshots of where we are right now, right there and then, when it comes to the earlier records. And we wouldn't have been able to do this record 3 years ago. You know, it exactly how it works on every record.
Okay.
Otherwise, we would do that record. You know?
Fair enough. All right. I think my time's up. So
All right,
thank you
thank you
very
very
much
much
for your time.
Mhm.